Morning, traders. Chris Capri here, Second Skies Trading. How's everybody doing? Okay, so we're just going to wait for a few minutes for everybody to roll on in, and then we will get going. I hope everybody's having a good trading week. We had a okay start, not okay in terms of like slow. We didn't like rip a lot of positions on Monday. We already have a lot of positions, but we only added a new one in PLUG and XME. We're looking to add to our current position. So not a super active Monday, but we got some trades going out and we got some stuff on the list for today. So some really good stuff to start the day. So hope you guys have got your watch list ready and prepared the stocks that you're looking at. But if not, we're going to be going through that in today's pre-market watch list. So every Tuesday, for those of you who are new to this, first off, welcome. And what we do is every Tuesday, we do a pre-market watch list where we go over the top moving stocks. We go over our selection process for finding day trades for that particular day in the US stock market. And we go over technical levels, potential entries, what we like to trade, how we like to trade it. So you have an idea of how we trade the US stock market every single day. So that's what we're going to be going through here. What are you doing here? Get out of here. I wonder if I can clear that. Can I? Get out of here. No. Peace off. There should be a way to clear this. I wish there was. Dutch crypto trading. Hello to all. Hello to you as well. Justin, good to see you. And hello, Sasha, and everything like that. Okay. So let's go ahead and start with our list. We have some decent movers, but I might have to start trading this pre-market. We have some decent movers we're going to talk about here. And we're going to go over also the trade that I entered yesterday and what I'm looking for that one here. So let me just get one thing set up here on the YouTube side. Okay, I think we're good to go. All right, so let's roll with it. All right, so let's start off with Plug. This is the trade we entered in yesterday. We shared the live trade setup with our members in real time. So Plug we'll start with the weekly. Plug has been building a very nice structure and just nice bull run. This is the weekly chart here. So you can see Plug was just kind of stuck in a range for a while, stuck between $4 and $1 for a while. But then volume really started to pick up once coronavirus hit. A lot of the new flood of day traders into the market, Robinhood traders, and a lot of them have shifted their attention to ESG type investments. So Plug being one of those. And then you get a big volume breakout, impulsive move with a corrective pullback, and then another impulsive move breaking these highs. And then it built another corrective structure here, which it held for about 6 weeks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it just broke out last week, last week it was building, and then this week it's been breaking out. So we like the fact that the structure is just continuing. When you get a structure that has an impulsive, corrective, impulsive series that shows really good strength, the order flow is very consistent. The imbalance to the buy side is very clear. And now we've got another breakout. So that does create a pullback level to 1438 as a potential buy point if it does get back there. But for right now, it is running. And so when we look at this structure on, say, a 4-hour time frame, it becomes very, very clear. So here's the impulsive move. Here's the corrective pullback, which is very orderly. And that's a good sign when you kind of have this very orderly corrective pullback, even though it's counter trend. You get an impulsive move to break this structure, it consolidates, and then boom. And this prior resistance gets treated as support. So I had a clear floor in place for this part of the corrective structure. Let's extend this out. And then, boom, 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 and now has broken out of it. So while we do have a resting order at 1439, we did take the breakout yesterday. And let's get down to could we go to the 1 hour to really show this? It's okay. Let's go to the 5 minute. All right. So on the 5 minute, very, very strong move to open off the gate. So it was already up a little bit pre-market, not much, nothing gangbusters, but then really strong volume push on the open. You can see a huge surge in volume there and just strong buying for the first 45 minutes. But then it forms, after having this very interesting rejection here, it just continues to build. And I feel like, you know what? I think this thing's going to go. The structure is very good. So we bought on, I think like 1460, 1461, 1463, somewhere around there. And then later in the day, when this is kind of, you can see another orderly corrective structure, very much like that prior one that we had seen on the 4-hour chart. Once we broke out of the structure, we added again to our position. So late in the session, we decided to add in. And since then, it closed at roughly 1573, and now we're at 1615. It's just building very, very nice. Volume is not gangbusters or anything like that, but the structure is building very, very well. And so yesterday's highs, 1597, become a potential pullback level. Obviously, the weekly VWAP becomes a potential pullback level. So as long as it stays above this pullback zone here, 1516, I'm going to continue to maintain my longs. If we get below that, then I'll reassess the position. But for the most part, I am already long twice on this, and I'll probably add a little bit more if the structure continues to build to the upside right now. So this trade idea, we shared it with our members in real time yesterday, as we do with all our stock trades during the session, or at least for the first few hours of the session, we always share those in real time. So if you remember, you would have gotten access to that trade setup. So that's one of them. Another one, XME, which had a, let's go to, I think the better chart on this one will be the 4-hour to start. So XME, we were long, we've been long since 2406, 2409 for a little bit. And it had this very interesting kind of breakout and false break. And so I think there was some profit taking there happening because the sell-off really wasn't that major. And it just went to a prior support level here. So then it built and then it broke through it yesterday. So if this pulls back towards 2409, 24, 2394, I will add to my position. I am long just above 24. I will re-add to my position. I think we're heading back to this kind of 2524 to 2554 and possibly, you know, back up to 2631. So I'll be looking, if we get up to here, I'll start taking some profit off the board. But then I expect the fact that it's already recovered the 24 level pretty well, that it should continue to re-challenge these upper levels and eventually make its way up towards where I think the next target is. I think the next target is around 2750, and then right here being 2876. So there's some pretty good potential for profit on this one here. But overall, I'm pretty bullish on XME. It's part of a precious metals play I have. I have long silver, I have long gold, I have long GDX and a gold miners index, and I have long XME, and I have long ARNC. So that's kind of my metals play that's going on right now. Now, in terms of the, good to see you, Victor, and hello to you. In terms of some of the other movers today, let's move over to Benzinga real quick, kind of show you what's going on. So top volume mover on no news catalyst is WWR. It's up about 49%. We'll get into that chart in a second. And average volume is 8 million, and it's already surpassed that 10.4. So the stock is in play. There's something going on about this here. So we pull up WWR, and let's move over here. I like how the part of it that I didn't like is that it had a big explosion early pre-market or aftermarket. Actually, early pre-market, which is a lot of, you know, like Asian traders, Chinese day traders. And then it sold off a lot of the gains, you know, so going from 8 to 18, over 100% gain, and then losing, you know, 7 of those, what is that? $10, you know, 70% of that, not good, but it has found a base. And so you can see this base right about here. This is a pretty solid base. So if we get back to here, I will definitely be open to taking a pullback long. Right now it's struggling at VWAP, which that should be thicker. There we go. Okay. So right now it's struggling at VWAP, which is not a good sign. You know, it did okay getting back above it, but then weaker rejection, didn't even close above it on a 5-minute candle. And now it's rejecting that. Volume is pretty good. So it has been building volume over the last 5 minutes, but it's going to need to break above VWAP. And even then it's still got resistance at these little intraday peaks, pre-market peaks here at 1362. So I'm a little tentative on this one here. I'd probably rather wait for a pullback than trading a break back above VWAP. If we were to get back above these, then I'd reconsider it. So I'll put an alert here, and I have an alert on a pullback to the prior support, which created about $1.25 move, dollar, something like that. So it's on the list, but the fact that it's fading and then the bounces are pretty weak leaves me pause. So I'm going to want to wait for a better price on this before I consider this one. Also, the pre-market highs at 1845 on the weekly chart is right at a pretty good resistance here. You know, it's the floor for a breakout and then a resistance. So if it can break above that, then it's got a lot more scope to go, potential for a move 25 plus. That is certainly possible, but I'm going to need to see it build on the lower time frame charts to feel better about it. Because right now that, you know, losing $7 of the $10 gain is not my favorite. It seems to be really wanting to challenge this VWAP, which is a good sign. But because you got resistance such above, I'm not totally excited about taking a break for VWAP, because still the series of lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs is in place. So that's what I'm thinking on this one here. There is a potential for a play all the way down to the weekly V up around 735, 924, and 735. I will watch them, but if it goes straight from this VWAP and hits this and breaks lower, then you're looking at a fade play. That's something that's already exhausted its move and it didn't really have any follow through. And again, there's no news catalyst, so it's not going to draw in a lot of professional institutional players, in my opinion. So that's one of the big volume movers. There was a couple others. BNTX had a decent run, but it's fading a lot of that. So it went from 80 to 91, which is pretty decent. The difference in this structure is it hasn't faded the majority move. It has a support on this little double bounce here. So I'm watching for a pullback here. I'd like to see what the order flow and time and sales is on that at that time. But it does have a nice pullback level here for a potential long. So that gives some scope for an 86 to VWAP, 87, 85, maybe 88 move. This so far is a corrected pullback, but if this continues to fade, then it's going to leave me a little less confidence in it here. What were some of the others? We had BNTX over here and AYX. Are you still on the list? Okay, not great volume. Again, below 600,000 shares pre-market is not a whole lot of volume. You can't come in with size. It means it hasn't really attracted a whole lot of institutional interest. So right now, the top volume ones are CBAT, which is having a very weird structure right now. We can take a look at that one real quick. So CBAT is just, yeah, it's not great. It's kind of choppy inside there. It's not maintaining the gains. So I'm a little less excited about that one. LTHM, also, you know, not a great build. It's not continuing to build the structure, holding close towards the highs. Plug, my man, that's a very good sign. So it's building pre-market volume. Still got a lot to go, so it's not necessarily a huge stock in play. But the other big percentage winner is AYX. And so AYX was up 23%. It's a little over 10. It's about 15% of its average daily volume. And it's still holding. So it had one big explosion yesterday after market. It's faded a little bit, and now it's slowly building. So I kind of like this pullback level here as a potential buy point. Right now it's struggling at VWAP. So I think if it pulls back here, I'll consider a potential long there. You know, maybe it fades a little bit at the market open and then it just kind of stops there. And then we see some really good orders come in on the level 2 and the time and sales. And if I start to see that, then I'll feel pretty good about taking long because I can have a very tight stop and a lot of potential upside on this one here. So basically you got potential from 135 all the way up to the VWAP, which is about 141. And if it breaks that, you could go all the way into 149, 150. I wouldn't want to hold it through 150 being a big round number. So I also have an alert above it here that if it breaks above this, then I'll consider it. So I got alerts down here and alerts down here. The one thing that leaves me a little concerned on this one here is we are kind of stretched. You know, 151 is way up here. It's above this peak. Here we are pre-market. So 147 is a potential peak. There is some resistance at 151. But if it can get above 151, then it has scope for the move up towards this weekly high here at 158. So there is some scope in it. It's a little elevated. This structure, if you look at this structure, this is kind of a messy structure. It's not clean. In Ichimoku, we call this a Y-wave structure. So it's an expanding volatility structure. So instead of it being contained or, in a nice sloping channel, you're seeing that it's expanding in both directions. So you're seeing greater presence of both with trend and counter trend players, and they're in a fight. If the counter trend players weren't coming in with the same strength, you wouldn't get the lows getting low and lower low, lower low. You wouldn't get that. That means they're pushing it deeper when it does sell off. And instead of the buyers holding the line, they're having to come in further down. That is a messy structure in and of itself because the highs aren't being respected and the lows aren't being respected. So you got increased volatility on both sides. So hopefully that makes sense in terms of that structure and why it's a little messy. So the structure on the weekly is not my favorite, but there are some potential day plays on this one here. Okay, so Chi Chan, good morning to you, and Olajuwon Adebayo, good morning to you. Okay, so I think we're pretty good on time. Yeah, we got about 15 minutes of market open. And let me see. Yeah, so here's time in sales on AYX. It's not generating a whole lot of interest, as you can see. So it's just not, it's not anything great. And so because of that, I feel like AYX is not really building a whole lot. Who else? We looked at a couple others. CBAT, but we didn't really like the structure on that one. WWR. Okay, WWR's got a little bit more activity. So you can see WWR here. It's got, see how there's a little bit more movement? There's more pre-market interest. But I saw a few red blocks here, as you can see, scrolling down. That's a pretty large red block. And that is at the VWAP. So, it's being rejected at VWAP right now. But you see how this is moving more than AYX? There's more institutional interest in this than AYX. So this has the potential to be a mover up or to the downside on here. So that's kind of what's going on with that one there. All right, so with that being said, we've checked in plug. We got XME is good. So we got playbook on plug. You got a playbook on plug. You got a playbook on XME. I'm going to move AYX a little bit back just because it's not really generating a lot of pre-market interest. Maybe it will around the open, but it's not generating a huge amount of pre-market interest. Okay, hello to you, Tom Lindbergh. Good to see you. Mons 707. It would have been cool if you did 007 on that. A man's 007. Hello, Chris. What exercises should I do on the simulator to build up price action skills? Mons, are you in the price action course? So if you are, we do have a list of skills that you can build and how you should build them. I want to say you are, but let me know just to confirm. And I know there's like a 15-second delay here, which is kind of weird. I get why. But yeah. So if you are in the price action course, we have a recommended list. In fact, we even have a video, I think, on that, Sasha. Am I correct, Sasha, that we have a video on that? Okay, so Mons, we have inside the price action course a whole video on how to build your skills. We also talk about that. But for those of you that are not part of the price action course, so one of the main model that we trade price action is understanding price action context and the order flow behind it. We don't trade candlestick patterns. That's not our style. We don't feel that that's trading price action. That's trading candlestick patterns. We trade price action context in the order flow environment, which means that we can trade on any instrument, any time frame, any environment. It doesn't matter. We can trade stocks, we can trade FX, we can trade commodities, we can trade global indices, CFDs, bonds. It doesn't matter. And when you learn to read price action context and the order flow behind it, then you can use that for any market, any environment. So the reason why we trade this is because it doesn't matter whether you're a technical trader, you're a fundamental trader, you're a sentiment trader, or you're a flow trader. The bottom line is all your trading decisions have to go through a filter where you end up making a buying and selling decision. And that buying and selling decision, once that order becomes actualized or activated, becomes actualized order flow. And actualized order flow is the most proximate driver of price action. So, if there is an overwhelming amount of buyers, way larger in volume and strength and size than the sellers, then the market's going to go up. If there's an imbalance to the buy side, the market is going to go up. If there's an imbalance on the offer, the market is going to go down. That's just a fact of how the markets move. And it doesn't matter where you derive that trading decision from or what information. The bottom line is it all has to go through a narrow quarter called an actualized trade. And when it becomes an actualized trade, it becomes activated order flow. And activated order flow is what causes all this. So we teach price action models to read this particular order flow, various patterns and structures, so that we understand who's in control, who's not. Where's the momentum? Where's it not? Are there transitions happening? Is there a trend reversing? Is there a consolidation happening right now that suggests that the next leg is up or the next leg is down? We teach you through patterns how to do that. And so, yes, Mons, use the methods that we have in the course, but for those of you who are not part of the course, the main one would be the impulsive and corrective. Sasha's saying, yes, it's the lesson called Building Your Skill Set and Accelerating Learning Curve. So that's the video inside the course. Sasha, can you find the video, one of the more recent videos that we did on impulsive and corrective? I think it's called How to Read Candlesticks Price Action in the YouTube channel. If you could send me, let's see, where can you send me that link? You can put it in Discord. Put it in Discord and then I'll post it. So if you could do it, that'd be great. Okay, so let's see here. Jeremy Dusick, good morning to you, good sir. And the Can Man Can since 1990. That's an interesting name. Cool name. L1 nice swing. Can Man Can. So the way we do that is if you have call outs of trade ideas, you got part of it. You got to do three things: instrument, time frame. You want me to do the analysis because you could be nice swing and you could be talking on a 5-minute and I could be looking at a weekly. So I need to know the time frame and then one sentence description, bullish or bearish. One sentence description, bullish or bearish, and that's it. So give me a time frame you want me to look at. If you want me to look at intraday, I'll look at 5-minute, 1 hour, or something like that. I can look at any time frame you want. Time frames are just lenses into the price action. So with that being said, just give me a time frame, one sentence description, whether you're bullish or bearish, and then I will do the analysis. Sasha's saying sure, and Monza's saying thank you. So we're going to get you a link. There it is. Okay, he's got it. So, yep. Here is the video on kind of like our core models. And for those of you not part of the price action course, you could practice. We give one of our core models for interpreting and analyzing price action. And so that's the impulsive and corrective series and structures. There's all kinds of patterns you need to learn with that. It's great for telling you who's in control of the market, where's the high momentum, where is it not. If you're a scalper, you definitely have to learn this pattern. If you're a day trader, you definitely have to learn this pattern. If you're a swing trader, you have to learn this pattern because it's such an essential pattern that you have to learn. It creates a series of structures that will give you so much information. Should you be taking profit? Should you be holding on to your position? Should you be reversing position? There's just so much information in that pattern that if you build that skill up over time and look at those patterns and learn them over and over and over again, you will start to detect changes in the market, changes in momentum, changes in the trend, reversals coming up. When do you want to, when's the more probable direction for you to take with trend and keep trading that direction? So it is so much information in that. So Can Man Can, do you have a time frame you want me to look at? Can Man Can's gone. That'd be funny if he is. Just hit and run. Okay. So that's pretty much that. So we have instruments. We have about 7 minutes till market open. I could probably analyze 2 or 3 instruments. So again, instrument, time frame, one sentence description, bullish or bearish. And that could be a stock, that could be an index, it could be a FX pair. Meanwhile, I want to check in and see what's going on with my trades on this one. Okay, looks decent. This is good. Okay. WWR, still a little slow, but pretty good volume on this one here. So Very curious how this will react once the market opens. Yeah, fading a little bit towards support. Not a whole lot of volume on this one here. And AYX going nowhere. So I'm just going to move you over here and pretty much pull you off the list. DKNG. Yeah, that's not a good structure. I'm leaning towards the next leg being down. If it can break 58.50, 58.21, then I could see a bigger unwind to 55 on DKNG. QQQ's building, which is good. It's definitely got a decent base at 273. So I might be interested in taking it long if we get off that. Otherwise, I think it might get stuck a little bit at 282 today. Yeah, 282.50. I could see it getting stuck here. Okay. Victor Randanowitz. Victor, is your last name Polish? If so, you guys had a big reason to celebrate. What's it? So I watched the UFC. What's his name? Jan Blachowicz. He won the light heavyweight title. Very good fight, by the way. Very, very good fight. So it's your third Polish champion, I think, in a while. You guys have been racking up championships lately. Okay, you want to look at SLV. So let's look at SLV. I have an SLV position. Yes, it is. Okay, cool. Gotcha. So congrats on Jan Blachowicz winning. It was a great fight. SLV weekly decision time, currently holding unsure. Weekly decision time, currently holding unsure if to keep on my books. Okay, good question. So it's a world champion. I haven't seen the fight, but watch it now since you have mentioned it. Definitely watch it. It's a great fight. I hope he has a good title run. He seems like just a good guy. He's not like all WWE trash talking. He seems like just a good guy. Okay, so you have a very interesting situation here. Silver was in this contained range. You have the coronavirus solved. Then it just continues to build. Massive breakout. So massive breakout of 18 resistance at 18 to 20, almost 28 in a matter of 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. So very explosive run. We caught some of this. We caught a decent amount of it, but we missed the initial breakout. I have no idea why. I'm kind of kicking myself over that one there. But then we have this interesting consolidation at the top, and generally these lead to continuations, and it wasn't. It was dumped. So we did have one big dump, but then the pullback is not exactly super inspiring, and the volume's not. This is this week, so it's still early in the week, but the volume is not great for the pullback. You have high volume on the breakout, and you have a little bit of volume on the pullback, but the pullback is not super inspiring. So I feel like if you're already long, I feel like the bottom of this wick is your stop loss, basically, in my opinion. I got to keep saying in my opinion because there's certain legal ramifications if I say, like you have to do this or you should do this or something like that. It's weird. It's weird doing things like that. So I think this should be your stop loss, 2048, just a few cents below it if you're already long. There is some building on the intraday time frame. So if we go to the 4-hour, there is some building. It's an impulsive sell-off, but it's a counter trend impulsive buying off it. So that isn't just profit taking because you're talking about a 10% move roughly. And so that's just not profit taking. That is consistent buying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, it's just all blue candles. So profit taking wouldn't produce that many consistent blue 4-hour candles. Somebody was buying the dips. If it was profit taking, it would be much more of a mix. So this tells me there was some dip buyers in it, and that means they're probably going to defend this. It hasn't really, on this leg pullback, it did, it was impulsive and then it's since gaining, but it's not super gangbusters. So with that being said, let me look at the 1-hour super quick. I think short term, there is scope for this to have some more upside gains. If it can break the 2283, then I think, and 23, then I think there's a good chance it can make it back to 24. And then that's going to be the real test. If, however, we get impulsive selling from here, like really big impulsive selling, then we break this low here, then there's a good chance it's going to make its way all the way back down to these prior weekly lows. So with that being said, I feel like Yeah, you need to see, can it break this upside resistance here with some fervor? If not, if we start to see really strong selling and it breaks the 2153 low, then I would be much more hesitant on it. I have some longs on this. I also bought a protective put on this, so if it does sell off, I am protected to the downside. It's kind of like an insurance play on that one, so to say, to hedge it. But yeah, that's my analysis on SLV. You're in DC now. Okay, Jason Kidd. So do we have enough time? We should have actually. Okay, we have just enough time to do it. So we'll do Jason Kidd and we'll do Joshua Heises. Simeon is saying, I greet you all from Namibia, Africa. Good to see you as well. I'm in California, and Sasha, our chief course instructor, is in Sweden. Okay, so you want to look at, I can rapid fire these out. Euro dollar. Okay, so let's take a look at the, and there's the open. Okay, so we'll try and get this out as fast as possible. Took a trade on the long Euro long 1720. Stop loss 1705. Take profit 18 for keep holding. 1720. Where's your entry? 1720. It's not a bad entry. It's a little bit late to the party, but it's not bad. It's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. So far, the short-term structure on the 1 hour is building. You know, you have a corrective structure here. It holds the 20 EMA and it's since bouncing and pushing. So this is, that pullback is right there, 1760. I would have my stop loss personally below the 65, 1765, maybe the 1745. Yeah, somewhere between 65, either just below 65 or just below 45. That would be my stop loss. I wouldn't give this a whole lot of room, but it is building and it's building a decent structure. So it's, you know, breaking these highs. This was prior high and it's treating it as resistance on pullbacks. That's favorable. Yes, to take profit of 1845. It's not bad. I think you might run into some struggles around 1826. So keep an eye on that. Yeah, keep an eye on 1826. It might run into some struggles there, but if it can get past that, then I think there's a good chance you'll make it to your target. So watch how it acts around 17 or 1826. But overall, I think this is favorable, short-term favor right now. The pressure is looking to the upside. Okay, I got to get going soon because we got the Joshua Heiser is looking at SPAC. I got to get going because we got the market open here. Spartan Energy. Tricky because you're inside a very, on the weekly, you're inside a very wide range. You know, 1824 to 1165. You're kind of right smack in the middle right now. So on the weekly, it's not my favorite. Yeah, I don't like the location right now. You're right in the middle of this range. It's not the most favorable time to be doing that. I think if you wanted to be long SPAC, I think there's a decent play at the bottom of this corrective structure, 1186. So I'll put an alert there. And I think there's some potential for, say, 13, because let's look at 13 here. Resistance, resistance. This became a base of support, support, support. So I think 1186 and 13 are decent potential plays. Hey, now, go with the alarms. Other than that, I really wouldn't want to touch it a whole lot inside from, say, 15 to 1745. I think between 1745 and 1818, you have to consider potentially being a seller because there is clearly some strong resistance there between here and here. You know, sell off, very aggressive sell off. So there are some sellers who are going to defend this here. If it gets back above it, then it has scope to reprobe these highs around mid 21s. So I think there's a potential play on this one here. I don't like buying at this point, though. I'm not a fan of buying at this point, especially this structure is not totally at this current levels. It's not my favorite. I think you need to wait for a little bit bigger dip on this one, Joshua. But short term, I think it's decent. You know, as long as this low and this low is in place, you know, you have favorability. You have some favorability to the upside. And I know SPAC is one of those that is drawing a lot of attention. So yeah, I think there's some play there. Okay. I got to wrap it up. Let's see a couple. SMJ, SRD, GRNE. Hi, sir. Impulsive corrective is one of your pillars. What is the name in the other pillars? We covered that in the price action course. So there are 2 other pillars we cover in the price action course. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I got to wrap it up. I thank you all for coming to this. I hope to see you guys. I'll be doing a live webinar on Friday on YouTube. So I'll be here at US Market Open at Friday. So I hope to see you then. Other than that, good luck trading. Stock trading course members, for those of your members, I will see you in about 5 minutes for our live day trading session. So stay tuned for that. Other than that, you have a good list for today. You have Plug, XME, WWR. We talked about that. So you have a pretty good list of what to work with for this week. So good luck trading and good to see you, everybody. And I will see you guys next time. Take care, everyone.